So my last video, we looked at how to simulate bullet collisions with the enemy mobs using a raycast, but that was more suited for a first-person controller setup. But if you look at my game and the demo that I've been making, it's actually set up in third person. And a third-person controller, we're gonna run into issues because if you look at this scenario, if I were to shoot this zombie, he shouldn't actually die because there's a cube in the way or a wall in the way. That gun should have fired a bullet that would have collided with this box. But because I can see him over the top of the cube, I can actually kill him. So what I'm going to do is propose a solution that will use the camera to the crosshairs raycast to find a collision and then shoot another raycast to wherever that collision was to actually see if we hit the mob. So let's see how to do that. So I just created a aim target placeholder for the raycast that we're going to use to determine and find out whether or not we've actually hit a mob. The aim cast is the raycast that we shoot from the camera through the crosshairs out into the 3D world. And if that aim cast detects a collision, we fire another raycast from the tip of the gun out towards that collision point. And if it did collide with a mob, then we can go ahead and call it a kill. So if we go over to the gunfire raycast script, we need to add a couple variables here. So this fire point variable represents the tip of the gun where the bullet's going to come out of. And for now, I'm going to put that underneath the player model object. Next, what we need to do is adjust our physics ray query so that we don't only hit things on this collision layer. Because right now, if you remember from the past video, we're only colliding with collisions or mobs on the layer 13. So we need to actually remove that so we can detect other collisions that are made. But we still want to make sure that we exclude any detections with ourselves. So let's grab a reference to the aim cast. And in order to make this more visual, we're actually going to set this aim cast over here to that initial query that we made out in space from the camera to the crosshair. So let's go ahead and set that up. So here we just set the starting point or the global position of that aim cast ray. Then we set the target position, so where the ray is going to extend out to. And again, it's the same as the camera to crosshairs projection. And then we give it a length equal to the ray that was cast initially. And so that we can see it in real time, I'm going to do this forced raycast update so we can actually visibly see the color of the ray shooting out into space. You probably don't need this for your game, but it helps when you're debugging and developing. And while I said that, let's go ahead and go over to the aim cast and let's set the color. So I'll use blue and I'm going to make it a little transparent. And then the fire one, let's just set that to green. Right. So if the first aim raycast actually did detect that we hit something, we want to go ahead and perform that additional fire cast to see if we actually hit a mob. So we don't really need any of this anymore. What we're doing here is getting the collision point that was detected by that first aim cast made by the camera. Let's grab a reference to the fire cast. So what we're going to do here is grab the fire cast, which we're going to set the global or starting position of the ray at the barrel of the gun. And that's what we're going to do here with this fire point, because if we go back over into the player and select the fire point object and look at him in 3D, let's just move this fire point to something relatively close to the barrel of the gun. And this will definitely need some refactoring as we update and make progress through this demo, but this seems like a good starting point to set an origin for where the bullets will come out of the gun. And if we go back to our script, that's what we're setting here. We're setting that fire cast ray to the origin of that fire point. And what we've done here is we took that ray cast, the fire cast, it starts at the fire point, which marks the end of the barrel of the gun. And then we get the collision point where that initial ray cast collided with something. And then we convert it to local coordinates so we can actually build the ray. So setting the target position will actually cast the ray out into space from the global position that we set earlier. And then we just again run this force raycast update so we can see the line drawn or the raycast drawn in real time. So this is mostly for debugging purposes, so we still need to actually run the secondary fire query out of the barrel of the gun to see if we actually collided with a mob or whatever you're trying to detect. And again, we're shooting the ray from the exit point of the barrel of the gun to the collision point where that initial aim raycast detected a collision. And of course, we're going to exclude any raycast collisions with ourselves. And let's go ahead and run that query. And the next thing we want to do is detect if we've hit the mob. So all we're going to do here is, did we actually get a collision? Is there a collider? And is it a mob? And if you don't want to do this direct mob comparison, you can also just add the mobs to a mob group or something like that and see if the collider belongs to a group of whatever mobs or whatever you want to create for that. So now that we have that set and that check, we know we have a mob, we can go ahead and call the kill function on the mob, and then that should take care of him. See if I broke anything. Okay, great. So what you'll see here, oh, they're both red. Let me see if I can change the color. They shouldn't be both red. Oh, I have a debug one. And you'll notice that there's a blue raycast just kind of floating up there. That was left over from the previous video and that we're no longer going to need. So I'm just going to close that off. And right now you can see the raycast in red is going to be the raycast from the camera through the crosshairs. So no matter where we're aiming, that initial aim cast, which we set over here, will always fire out into space from the camera through the crosshairs. And if that detects a hit, like right here, I can hit this building, it'll shoot another raycast out of the tip of the gun, which we marked by that fire point right over here. And if it detects a mob, then it'll go ahead and kill that mob. But right now we're just shooting buildings, so it's not going to say anything. And the great thing about this is if you shoot this anywhere in space, well, within the ray length limits that we've set, it'll always be accurate. And you may not want that for your game. So I guess another solution, which maybe you thought of, is why don't you just shoot a ray out of the gun, straight out of the barrel gun? Well, if you do that, you're going to have a fixed length, and it's going to be greatly inaccurate if you get anywhere away from that fixed length, right? So if you set it at 200 meters, yeah, it'll be accurate at that 200 meters, but how do you shoot something really close to you? You know, that crosshair needs to line up with that raycast. And if you just shoot it directly out of the gun, it's going to be a lot lower if I shot here and the ray length was supposed to be 200 meters. I don't know if that makes sense, but every time I try to think about using the raycast out of the gun solution, it always led me back around to this 2 raycast solution. So if you have a better way to do this, please let me know in the comments. So what will happen here is if I go ahead and just shoot somewhere so I can not hit anything, and I shoot this zombie over here, if I can actually hit him, you'll see that the blue one is the initial raycast from the camera, and the green one was actually detecting the kill. So what we're doing is we do the aim cast first to see if we have a collision, and if we don't have a collision, nothing will happen. But if we do have a collision, it'll go ahead and fire an additional raycast out of the front of the gun. And if a mob was detected, we'll go ahead and call that kill function that we just set up. And going back to the original problem, if we look at this cube here, if I want to shoot that guy over there, you'll notice that my gun is behind this wall or this cube, but the camera raycast will actually hit him. So in theory, if this were a first person game, it should kill him. Here, let's use this close one. So like this is a perfect example. Like if I can see over this wall here, I should be able to shoot him. Well, this isn't a first person game. This is a third person game. So if you look where his gun is, it's behind the wall. So of course that's not going to work. So this is a perfect illustration of why we shoot this second raycast, to make sure that we can actually hit him as expected. Because the first one is not that accurate, right? Because it's coming from the camera. And as you can see, that blue line does not come out of the gun. The green line comes out of the gun and detects we hit a wall. So in order to actually hit the zombie, your gun has to have that clear line of sight. So you shoot the first raycast with the aim, and then the second one out of the gun actually detects a hit. So that's exactly what we expect, and that's what we want for this. Now, if you want to actually shoot a real projectile, you could do that as well. If you don't like this raycast, or you want to be able to control the speed of the projectiles, maybe you actually have like some meters per second on an object that you want to shoot out, you can totally do that. And you can even place a raycast at the end of that projectile and use that as a means for your collision detection. And that's another way, if you want more control over the speed of your projectiles, that you can handle it. I just want to give a quick shout out to one of my Discord buddies, Scott McPherson. He was kind of the main motivation behind this 2 raycast solution I have here. And that's one of the great things about being part of a Discord community, is that you can come in there and bounce off ideas off other people, ask questions to the community. And there's a bunch of gurus in there that are more than willing to help and happy to, give you some advice and point you in the right direction. So if you want to come by, you're more than welcome to do that and ask some questions, and we'll do our best to help you as we go through this Godot journey. But anyways, if you'd like to see more videos on this type of stuff, please give this video a thumbs up. It'd be greatly appreciated, and make sure you're subscribed because I got a lot more stuff on the way. Thanks for watching.